All right, let's work some problems. I'm just going to scroll back up to those two timelines that I had. Clear my screen off here. Get your financial calculators ready. I should plug in my pen, that way it will work. I have to restart my iPad like every 20 minutes when I lecture, because if not, for some reason the microphone starts like seriously screwing up and the voice gets all like crackly and robotic and you can't understand it. It really is annoying. And I don't know if it's the microphone or my iPad or my software or what. All right, so again, 4 steps. 1, change the pen. 1, find the present value of the outflows. 2, present value of the inflows. 3, future value of step 2. And then 4, find I. Simple as that. And I'll say using step 1 and 3. All right, so for L. All right, present value of outflows, that's easy, right? Present value of my outflows is just 100. All right, to do the present value of my inflows, I am going to go into my cash flow register, and I'm going to enter in the cash flows of only the inflows. So cash flow register, only the inflows. And I don't have that done yet, so I will put that in my cash flow register. Hopefully you're putting it into yours. Don't forget to not make sure you skip over year 0 when you're putting it in, especially if you have the HP one. Be careful. Make sure you know how to get it in there correctly to where you're going to have to press 0 for cash flow 0 and then start entering the numbers. If you start off with just 10, it's going to put it in cash flow 0 if you have the HP one. If you have the TI and you're getting stuck, remember that you have to press enter to get it to go to the next cash flow. Just a little reminder. WAC is still going to be 10%. It's what we're discounting by. And we end up getting a present value, if you put those in correctly, of 118.7829. And again, I don't know if Excel has an MIRR function. I don't remember. I don't feel like checking right now. But if it does, you still need to be able to do it like this. That way you can show me the intermittent steps. If you just give me the MIRR, you're going to get a 0. Yeah. Number 3, step 3. All right. Find the future value of step 2. Okay. So future value, or I'll use the book's term of terminal value of the inflows, which again just means find the future value. All right, so n equals 3. We're going to discount it or grow it by 10. No payments, right? Because now I'm basically sitting with the 118 over here. And now I just want to bring that amount to the future. So present value equals 118.7829. And I'm just going to go ahead and solve for future value. You could even use the formula if you really just love using that formula. I don't know why, but you could. All right. Compute my future value. I get 158.10. Hopefully that's right. And now in step 4, now that I have 158.10 over here, and I have the $100 over here, I want to know what rate makes those two guys equal. So I start off with 100. I got 3 years, still got a 0 payment, and I have a future value that I want to grow to of 158.10. And so all I'm going to do is look for I. 0 payment, 3 in, compute I, I get 16.4959. We'll call it 16.5. That is my MIRR. I guess I should have put it in red because everything else answers is in red. Done. Not too bad, right? Once you do the steps a few times, you get used to it. I also always tell students, don't use a number twice. Like once I got the 118, I used it here, but I didn't use it again. Right? And I only used the 100 once, and I used the 158 once. So if you keep, because that's what students will often do, they'll like use the 118 again or something. Only use the numbers once is the little kind of trick if you get kind of confused in this problem. So, or at least it's a trick. I've told students that. I don't know if it helps or not, but maybe it helps. All right, for the short one, we'll do the same thing. So present value of my outflows, again, it's just 100. Present value of my inflows. I go to my cash flow register and I go put in my cash inflows only, so starting in year 1. So make sure again that year 0 is 0. So 70 for year 1, 50 for year 2, 20 for year 3. Go ahead and compute my MPV. I get 119,985. Okay. I'm going to use that number now, right? Because I use every number once. So I'm going to find the terminal value of my inflows now using that 119 number. So again, N equals 3, I equals 10, payment equals 0. Present value, I'm going to use that 119,985. That's a 5, it's just a really funky 5. So that's my present value, 0 payment, 10 I, 3 N. Compute future value, I get 159.70. So now I don't want to use that 119 again, right? That one's done. That's a good way to think about it, to make sure you're not making any silly mistakes. Last thing I want to do is find my MIRR. I want to grow the $100 over here. I want to grow that to 159.70 over here at time 3. So starting off with 100, ending with 159.70. N is 3. Payment is 0. If we want to solve for MIRR, we are solving for I. And so when I put that in my calculator, I get 16.8876. We'll say 16.89. So still higher than Project L, which is expected, right? I mean, it had higher MPV, so it should have a higher MIRR. But notice they're kind of similar, as they should be, because their IRRs were kind of similar, right? And so still get the same decision that we had before. The L is definitely better than S, and definitely lower than their IRRs. Like, for example, the IRR for this one, I don't have the right information in. Got an error. Try again here. The IRR for the short was 23.56. So definitely a lower number here, a more conservative number at 16.9. So that is your solving for MIRR. I'll put some more problems for you to practice on up online, but it's basically just learning the steps and making sure you remember the steps. Only use a number once. Once you type it in once, don't use it again. That is our trick.